Abigail, also popularly called the Unforgettable Woman. Abigail was a truly inspiring woman. Whenever we are tempted to forget the importance of having a valuable teammate, the story of Abigail is bound to stop us in our tracks and bring us a more profound understanding or clarity about the power of good influences in our lives. She was the woman whose hospitality, knowledge, and independence saved her husband when he acted foolishly before David, the soon-to-be king of Israel. Everyone makes mistakes at some point in their lives, but having wise counsel can prevent bad situations from getting worse. Following the death of the prophet Samuel, David went down to the wilderness of Paran in the southern part of Judah, possibly to get away from Saul and his murderous schemes. As customary, Nabal was shearing his sheep there, and David sent some young men to ask for a gift in exchange for the protection he had provided for Nabal's flock. But Nabal's response to David's servants was so selfish and rude that David became enraged and marched towards Carmel with about 400 men to punish Nabal and his household. David was bent on destroying Nabal and everything he owned if it wasn't for the timely intervention of his wife Abigail, who read the situation, anticipated David's response, and quickly took steps to avert the impending calamity set to befall her family. What if she had sided with her husband to the point of risking the destruction of their entire family, instead of holding him accountable for his actions? If Abigail hadn't spoken up, David may have sought revenge against her for her husband's disrespect and lack of gratitude. However, she did speak up, and all issues were resolved. Nabal's wife may have excelled in relationships, but Nabal floundered. Their marriage illustrates that opposites do attract. Nabal was aware that David had saved his people from the Philistines and Goliath. Additionally, he knew that David was the anointed king of Israel and had been protecting his men and property. However, Nabal still refused to return the favor. She moved forward in God's courage. 1 Samuel 25:18 tells us, Abigail lost no time. She was humble and kind. Abigail knew that her words and actions were powerful, and she carefully considered each one. She recognized that the larger picture of this story was far more important than that one moment. So she reminded David of how important it was that God was constructing greatness in his life, and that the Lord himself was fighting for David. She would hear David's stories, that Saul had sought his life, that David had slain a giant with a sling, and had spoken in such a way as to bring him back to God's bigger picture. God fought for Abigail, just as he does for us today. He did not abandon her, but instead showed her great favor in David's eyes.